right, we're live at Tillman's, and we're about to get going here on a MCERPS meeting. And if you just listen along, you'll follow what we're doing here. Can I have everybody's attention? It's hard to speak over everybody, and I'll try to whip through this because we're running a little late. And anyway, welcome to anybody new here, which we do have a couple new guys here, and I hope they got to introduce everybody, Rick and Bradley. I hope they talked to everybody here. By the way, we'll need you to fill out some information on a sheet for us. I want to talk a little bit about a couple of things. We have a new radio show that's on once a month on Tuesdays called the Cannabis Connection, Cut to the Chase Cannabis Connection. We'd hope, Bob was on it a month ago, talked about the business aspects. I want to get quite a few people on it in the next few months, so I hope you pass the word out that there's an opportunity to call in for questions. You can speak to prominent lawyers. Last month we had Bruce Block on, who's one of the lawyers that represented the judges or the sheriffs that got done for butter and won that case. We had Michael Tippelmeyer on, who helped decriminalize Grand Rapids and on the board of legalize, and also Jamie Lowell out of Ann Arbor. And I'll tell you what, we really had a great show. So the more participation and we can get more people involved in Kent County and the surrounding areas, we'll be able to get more people what they need and are asking for. And that's hopefully safe access for medical marijuana in Grand Rapids in the Kent County area. So with that being said, it's on, it airs, like I said, the first Tuesday of the month. It's on 1680 AM, 95.3 FM, 102.5 FM. Or you can get it, you can streamline it on www.publicrealityradio.org. So there's multiple ways to listen to us, and we have a lot of great guests and information. Some of the people here I hope to be seeing on the radio show pretty soon. All right? Next thing. The reason we're here today, the main reason, is to get, I've had several good conversations with some groups and some of the people that came in on the radio show about getting this organized to have medical marijuana dispensaries in Grand Rapids area. And I've been pounding every township along with Bob Hendricks here and a few other people trying to get townships to opt in, and it's become apparent that Grand Rapids, based off of their opinion of marijuana, is putting up one heck of a wall to allow it not to happen in the Kent County area. And what I've seen starting to happen now is that the surrounding communities are starting to surround the wagons around Kent County using the same policies of actual false information, bad numbers, actually stuff that's not even credible in the industry anymore. But our leaders of these small communities are believing, Chris Becker, the Ionia prosecutor, people like that show up these meetings to argue against opting in. So Grand Rapids is no different. With Grand Rapids leading the way and Kent County leading the way, you're seeing all these little communities all around us opt out, which is going to eventually mean the same thing it meant before. Everybody that does need quality meds and safe access will be driving to Ann Arbor, Detroit, north of us, as far as Traverse City, the places that do opt in. So the only option that people that live in cities have is to do a voter referendum and get the will of the people's decision here made and write the referendum, get the amount of signatures you need, and put it on a ballot in 2018. I've had several groups express interest in helping with this, but this is going to take a lot of people to do this, not just 4 or 5, a lot of people. It's costly, just like the legalized people that are putting together recreational. It's a very costly thing, and so we're going to need to do some fundraising. We're going to need some groups to step up that would like to own and operate dispensaries in the city of Grand Rapids. We would like to see some people like that get involved. We're easy to get a hold of. It's not hard to find us. We're here every Tuesday. But that's the reason we're here, and if we don't do this, you're looking at approximately several years before you'll see any safe access in the Grand Rapids area, without a doubt. So, you know, it's the will of the people. Detroit just did it, and they overwhelmingly supported the city of Detroit opting in, and now they're fighting over zoning issues. But at the end of the day, they're going to get their dispensaries because of the will of the people. And I think the city of Grand Rapids deserves it with all the veterans that are here, the amount of sick people that are here, medical mile, and the new people coming in for treatment from out of town. I think they deserve this option. So this is the only way and form I know of convincing the leaders of Grand Rapids to take a stand and either write in what we design in a proposal and make it law in Grand Rapids, or let the will of the people decide. And if there's anybody out there that would like to get involved with this, now's the time to speak up. You can get a hold of Joe over at Shakedown if you want to get involved. His people get right a hold of us. You can get us at AAA Hydroponics up in Sheridan. You can visit us over at the Mid-Michigan Certification Center on Leonard on Fridays. Multiple ways to get a hold of us if people are interested in seeing dispensaries in this town. And one of the things I want to say is when we started this, we didn't really know where it would go. But as we started to venture in, we met some other people from Legalize that have interest and have people that have values to come here and see this happen. And some of the people that help decriminalize, I believe, would get involved. So this isn't something that hasn't been accomplished. And actually, I think their goal was even harder to accomplish because it was the first to decriminalize. And with the will of the people and over 70% of the people of the state of Michigan wanting medical marijuana now, and I believe that could stretch as high as 90%, I don't see an issue where we couldn't win this at the polls very easily. And I know a lot of people think this is a costly thing, but to have dispensaries in Grand Rapids, we're probably looking at around $20,000. $10,000 for writing of the ordinances and working with city attorneys and the attorneys to write them, and then making sure the literature won't be picked apart when the signatures are presented to the county clerk. The other $10,000 would go towards advertising, publicity, towards the end of the run when we got close to elections, possibly billboards on the side of the road, stuff like that on the S-curve. Wouldn't that be great when they're all standing in line waiting to get home at night? Vote for dispensaries and vote for Legalize recreational side by side on the S-curve. Great idea, I think, don't you? Get the point across to all people in the Kent County and Grand Rapids area. This is not only going to help just Grand Rapids people, but think about it. Nobody in Wyoming's opted in, no Byron centers. People, you're only within 20-minute drive, if that, to your local dispensary. It doesn't take just growers, it takes everybody. Patients need to be involved, growers, people that want to be in the business need to be involved. It's here for our taking. We just have to put the will in. We have the people to do it. We have the volunteers that'll get out there and get the signatures. We know enough grow store operators, head shop operators, growers to get signatures in Grand Rapids. 6,500 signatures to get on a ballot. So I think at the end of the day, I think that's the best thing for Grand Rapids, Kent County. I'd like to close on this issue. If you can think of this, you kind of can be the Trojan horse. You can ride in on the belly of the horse and we can get out at night and have our way. And I gotta tell you, when we come in and take Grand Rapids, you will see every little township and county start to fold right behind them. The Solon townships, I don't know because the sheriff lives there, but possible. But some of the other townships will start to collapse if Grand Rapids is overtaken. And so let's be that Trojan horse. Let's ride right in with good intentions, because they sure aren't showing us any good intentions with what we're asking for, that's for sure. They won't even address the issue here. So at the end of the day, I think that's what we need to do. Next up, I'd like to have Michael Tippelmeyer come up and discuss the Legalize events coming up. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you. As mentioned, I was the director of Criminalized GR. Now I'm on Michigan Legalize. We're having a mixer at Stella's Lounge downtown off Commerce and Ione. I guess you go both ways on it. It says $40 on there. You bring what you want. I think, we need to raise money. No one's beating around the bush on that. And, I know we do. I originally started out in politics for a long time. Worked in the state, local. We try to run around like, we want to fundraise, but no, we really need money. The opposition can for every 10,000 we put out, they put 100,000 out. And we can give them all the facts and data we want. All they got to do is put a billboard up there that says kids are going to get marijuana, and we've lost a lot of voters. I mean, it's hard to combat that, right? Because we can combat with facts and statistics. Well, they can just give you basically some hoo-ha, and you're going to listen to it. And we won't, but the general voter will, right? Because the general voter is 50 and older. And like I was talking to Jamie, yeah, you can get a lot of millennials out. We can. We're going to have to rely on the older voters. It's just how it's going to be. One thing I want to mention too, I've been speaking about lately is, when it came to criminalized GR, we didn't have much of an opposition. Yeah, we had to fight Forsyth, and we had to go up to basically the Supreme Court. But the fact is that wasn't really going to hurt anybody, right? The criminalizing marijuana, really, I mean, if you looked at where the arrest rates were, we were really just saving people of low income, communities of color. It wasn't really going to hurt anybody, right? But Michigan legalized, not us in general, but marijuana legalization. Now, our opposition sees that as a lot of pain. That's money we're talking about now. That's money that's going to be made, that's going to be given to politicians that reflect our interest growth as we move forward. And for some people, that's going to be very fearful. So they're willing to pay a lot more money to get us out of the way. This is no longer, not just giving a ticket to somebody. This is a major industry that can see, it can push the paradigm a certain way. And I think that there are just some very close-minded people in the state who are not going to want to see that happen. Another thing we mentioned on that radio show, if you don't mind if I can just mention it, because you and I are veterans, right? As a combat veteran, I've now lost more people. I was in the initial invasion of Iraq. I was a frontline soldier. I was attached to special operations, and I have now lost more people in my unit than we lost in Iraq. It gives me goosebumps to think about that. Every year we're losing somebody. This bill right here is going to give so much money to us to fund research into medical marijuana in the state of Michigan. It's going to be the first bill of its kind to do this. Now it's going to have a lot of different things, and I could sit here and talk to you later on or whatever, and they can talk to you about the different things it will do. But that's a piece that I think is very crucial to this, on top of everything else. It's not really spoken about, so I just want to mention that. And going forward, speaking to people, no matter what political ideology they are, no one wants to see veterans dying every day. So that would be something you can use, yes.
Michael, what's the cause of the death of these veterans? Is it PTSD?
Yeah, it's basically PTSD. I mean, I'm not a medical doctor here.
Right.
I'm working for the VA. I can tell you, me coming home was very hard. I'll tell you this, when I came home in 2006, it was a different army. Nowadays, you get pulled out, you get a medical, they check you out and everything like that. But for a lot of soldiers who are still dealing with it, I was basically pulled out of a hole in Iraq, had the sand dusted off me, and I was sent home. I came home to my mom's house. I hadn't been home since high school, to my high school trophies, and was told, there you go. And you better be fine. Back then, we didn't talk about it. Now I'm going to say there's a lot more things together, but back then there wasn't marijuana. You smoked marijuana back then, the VA didn't treat you. You could be put into a drug class like you were on heroin. I mean, so, and I don't want to get too much into veteran rights because we're talking about marijuana here, but the fact of the matter is this is a crucial piece. This could save a lot of lives. I mean, it's going to save lives across the boards for many different parts of the population.
Thank you.
But that's one good thing. So, but please, I'm on the email list. Please email me if you have any questions about Michigan Legalize. Please come to the mixer. when you go to like Detroit, and I know a lot of you probably travel around in the different groups of marijuana, but you go to Detroit, they have an army there. Here we live in a place where we have to keep it down, right? Because you mentioned marijuana here, you're a godless communist pretty much. I mean, that's exactly how it's treated here. But we can break that stereotype now, and I think it behooves us, because we're willing to speak up, to let everybody know. And I've had to let people know. I know a lot of people utilize marijuana who feel like, is it safe to come out and say anything? No, now is the time. Because if we don't make this, there won't be another time. You know what I mean? There won't. Or it's going to go in the hands, and it's going to be like Ohio, which I don't think any of us want to see. And that's why they hope we fail. So you say, you see how we failed? Now we're going to go to Ohio. Now our 12 people are going to have that, and that's what you're going to pay for. So sorry for going so long, but thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. By the way, our group is donating $1,000 to this event.
Thank you very much.
So we're a major sponsor. And I want, I'm really praying that everybody that's involved with other groups and clubs and stuff can get the word out and come down and meet and greet and socialize again. Even if some bridges have been burned in the past, because a lot of people have burned bridges in this industry growing up. Bring them back and let's talk again, be friends. It's not too late.
Can I say one other thing?
Sure.
Lately, I've been getting into, debates. You know how it is. We always debate with our different groups. Some of us do some of the stuff. But I try to tell people, it might not be perfect, but we have to think of the evolution of marijuana policy. This is just another evolutionary step. Once we get it there, we further open that door, and then we are free as the citizens to start pushing lawsuits, push them right up that Supreme Court, no matter what your little niche is. And we will even this out. 20 years from now, it'll be ironed to where we want it to be. So I just want to put it that way.
Thank you very much. I'd like to talk a little bit right now. I'm going to change the subject just a little bit about the communities opting in, and I'm hoping I can get Jamie to come up and talk, because you're involved with that a little bit, aren't you? After I'm done here, so get ready, all right? I've been pounding the ground everywhere, trying to get townships in. I'm traveling all over the state of Michigan, similar to Bob. Bob's getting paid, I'm not. And
Sometimes.
well, bill them, baby, bill them, But I've succeeded in a few places. Not very many. Rogers Township up in Alpena is creating opting in. We were at their meeting and they seemed to be pretty forward about it. The community was well endowed. Most of their people were in Florida that would have objected. So when they come back, we're probably gonna have a new town, but oh well. Stanton, Michigan, where I come from. They're having a serious meeting at 7 o'clock tonight about opting in. They'll possibly be the, I don't know who else is opted in. I heard somebody in Ottawa County, but they should be probably one of the closest ones to Grand Rapids area opting in right now. And they're only gonna allow 1 or 2 dispensaries, but they're on the right path. I've talked to everybody on the board. I've only got 2 nays and the rest all for, so hopefully they're going to initiate that tonight at 7 o'clock. It's been a tough struggle. Darren Lee here, she's really worked her butt off in her township for months and months and months. And one of the things I like to suggest to people is find out who your leaders are. Because sometimes you find out the day before or the day of, and it's really a shocker when you didn't even realize some of the more professional people in this community, elected officials, lived in those communities. Tough to go up against people that have been there for 40 years. And that can bring preachers and teachers against you to opt out. And Grand Rapids is for real. I mean, this is where we win. Yeah, I've said it for 11 years. I've said it when I went to school in Detroit to learn how to create a compassion club. If we win here, if you win here, you teach the whole state. I mean, nobody here, Michael said it, we're over here, we're a handful of us just trying to survive. Over there's hundreds because they've been allowed to evolve. Like we tried to evolve here. Like I told Mr. Schutte, you can't stop a dispensary, it'll evolve. No, I can't get in front of it, you can't. Look at us today. We're here, they're here. Why our leaders will not accept them and come over to our side of thinking is beyond any belief in me. I think if the general conception is, as I've mentioned this to several other people, why isn't anybody putting together a recall for Mr. Becker? Why isn't everybody trying to get rid of your county prosecutor based off of what he's doing in all the communities to get them to opt out? I think it's grounds and enough to have enough recall votes and signatures very easily, but I haven't heard one person say recall. But that's what people from Detroit are telling me that. Recall them. But I haven't heard anybody even try to scare them. So I think, Grand Rapids is the key to the state, the western side of the state. Without it, we're all trying to get businesses going and help people get businesses going, but there's nothing here for them. They have to move their families over to another side of the state, or they have to commute. We're over here beating our butts in the ground trying to get people on board with this because there's so many that want to be involved, but actually nowhere close to go on this side of the state. And it's up to us as the people that live here to fix this. Anybody that is opting or going to these meetings and trying to convince communities that there's any help that's needed, there's several people that will show up and help. I'll come in my American Legion uniform. It did work for a while until I had everybody in the process show up. Prosecuting attorney, Kent County Sheriff. Let's see, had a SWAT team. Did I mention him? Nice bald-headed guy, looked nice. But boy, my uniform, man, I was up against 3 battleships and I had one little gun, and it didn't work too well. They opted out. But you got to just keep fighting. And with that being said, I'm gonna let Jamie talk because I know she's involved with several things, and I've seen some things on Facebook you might want to talk about that you got coming up.
Hi there, Jamie Cooper is my name. I own 2 companies. I am based in Grand Haven. Ottawa County, as you can imagine, is quite quiet over there. You know, there's not a whole lot of people that are out there with what we do. But I've been pretty loud about it for the last 3 years, and everybody in the community pretty much knows that I'm there. And in fact, I approached my township last night, and to start the conversation. And it's going to be a long road, as it is for a lot of communities in West Michigan. My tips are, it's important to build community with it, build support within your community. I think it's important for us to help patients within our communities realize that if they're not out there using their voices for us, this won't happen. It's really important to really put that sense of urgency in their minds so they understand that they will have to continue driving elsewhere to go get their medication if they really want this. So support others. If you find out that there are other people seeking license in your community, support those people. Right now it's time for us to unite and have one voice, and we will be stronger that way. Meet with leaders, as Dave said. It's just important to build those relationships and build trust within the leaders of our community. And it goes beyond the people that sit on the zoning board or the township boards or the city councils. Meet with the sheriff. If you really want a license, you need to have that direct line with your law enforcement, because they have a lot of hesitations about this. It helps to meet with county commissioners, because certain county commissioners, their jurisdiction, it might be where you're wanting to do business. So having that relationship and helping them understand what you're wanting to do, and it's a lot of marketing. Is a lot of people in our communities that make these decisions don't realize what the industry truly looks like. And in their minds, they think that people are going to continue growing as caregivers in their garage or basements. They don't understand what these regulated facilities look like. And it's just important for us to fill these rooms and really have a lot of conversations and become a resource on all levels. Because when you come out there and you start telling people that you want one of these businesses, people come out of the woodworks to just even get information on how they can get their card or how they can find a caregiver and things like that. And I think it's just important to become a resource for them all. And then bring in a team. Do not go in alone. I've seen this happen over and over, a couple of people going in and these board members having some really in-depth questions. Bob, we did a presentation together not too long ago, and the board had a question on the ordinance and writing the ordinance specifically. So you really need to have somebody there that can answer those questions for them. And it's going to take some patience, but we all have to band together, help Dave with this. There are 262,000 registered patients in the state, and that's huge. We have the 2nd largest market in the entire country, and that's before recreational or adult use. So a lot of opportunity for patients, a lot of opportunity for those that want to be a part of the business. And I want everyone to think beyond licensing. It takes a lot of money to get one of these licenses, but nobody's thinking about the ancillary opportunities, the amount of work it's going to take to feed this industry as a whole. I do have a licensing boot camp. It's on the other side of the state in Detroit next weekend. And I will be having a networking event as well for the licensing, the seminar. And then I'm going to bring it back over here, and I'll probably be putting together a couple of networking events over the course of the year, because I think right now we all need to band together, help each other. People are looking for investors, they're looking for their team members. It's collaboration time. So. Thank you.
Hey, can I ask one question? When you create your events here, and this is just speaking from a lot of the people that why we don't have big crowds, and I've learned this over the years, is if we can get like what they just did. They said $40 to get in, but they said bring what you can. I think if you could go at it some way in that similar format, I think in the future, I think you get bigger crowds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because some people just look at the money and then
Yeah,
it
and
just
that's what we
turns
did
them right
at
off.
our, I mean,
And
we
it just
hosted a
turns them
networking
right
event.
off, you know, and that's the only my suggestion, you know. I hope that helps.
Okay,
I think
well,
it's-
and as far as the licensing boot camps, I'm actually going to be hosting a virtual one, so nobody has to leave their home. You can
Yeah, that's
sign up
even-
online,
that's really
and
a
it's
great
going to
idea.
have a much lower price point, because my goal is to help people, I mean, to help people realize that we can do this. I mean, Michigan has a tough law, but if you look at Ohio or Pennsylvania or other states, our law is not as tough as it really could be, and it just takes a team to pull this off, so.
All right.
Real quick, what, is there any place that we're getting real close that you know of right now, any township or city that we're getting real close to flipping over in the West Michigan side?
You know, there are a lot that have, they're pretty far into the conversations, and they're just sitting there, and I think they're all waiting for the next ones close to them to make
the
this
first,
decision.
yeah, huh?
I mean, Crockery Township was the very first, and they allowed a grow and a provisioning center, and that's what, you know, my township, I told them that, I said, Crockery has written an ordinance allowing business that was there to stay. Had it been negative, they would have never written an ordinance allowing them to stay, and it's just helping them understand that it's not as scary as they think it
Well,
is.
that's further right, you long they're having conversations, it's better than we're doing downtown here. I mean,
Yeah.
Tonight I'm hoping Stanton opts in, and that's an hour from Grand Rapids.
Okay.
I'm hoping. We're past the planning again and into the voting on it, but I live in a really disruptive government that just fights among themselves rather than even with the people.
Well,
It's horrible up there. It's truly, truly horrible to get anything accomplished when their own leaders fight among themselves.
exactly, and you have to be prepared too. I mean, I had one board member tell me one thing, and 3 days later, the entire
Stab
board
you in the back.
changed. Like, I mean, like, it's just, it's dirty.
It's the Wild Wild
And
West.
it's
It's actually
exhausting.
more the Wild Wild West now than it was several years ago, because people are trying to find their niche, their ground, their platform to work off of, and it's all the Wild Wild West. Plain and simple.
And these townships, these municipalities want to use the excuse like, we don't want to be one of the first. Hello, how many states have already done this already? You are not one of the first. This has been done before. I mean,
Has anybody took an approach with townships to say, welcome to being the most criminal township in the community?
I mean, I've been pushing up a big prairie.
Because that's one of my approaches is, why wouldn't I want to move here if you're going to allow me to do my MMA and sell to anybody I want, basically, because you won't legalize and you won't legislate some laws and orders. So, I kind of using that philosophy a little bit, you already have 1,800 growers, you think they're all going to quit? Why aren't you trying to get them under
Yeah.
some kind of rules and regulation and taxation? Because you're receiving zero for anything right now.
right.
So I don't know if that's a way to get them in, but,
Well, you heard our commission, right? They have no problem finding weed on the streets around
well,
here.
thank you, Jamie. I appreciate
Thank
all
you.
your time and your effort and what
You're
we're
not free
doing.
yet, Jamie, can I ask you one more question?
All right.
You mentioned virtual access.
I got a couple more things.
What's that information?
Here, I'll give you.
Yeah.
Couple.
I have to get going because I have a meeting.
Yeah, we're running kind of late today because we started late, and I apologize for that. Anyway, let's see. Oh, David Banica, candidate for Michigan 6th District Congress, will be holding an online town hall meeting on Thursday, February 15th, 8 p.m. Allison Park National Cannabis Policy experts and the former chief of the National Board of Directors for Students for Sensible Drug Policies will also be the guest. I suggest if we can do that, listen and call in on that. It sounds like that's the way to go. Everybody's doing this online meetings now. It seems to be great. I mean, seems to be the way to go. One other thing I want you guys to know before you leave. I know you're in a hurry, girls.
Sorry, I
Next
have a
week,
meeting at
this
1:45.
week, I will be doing a live on Facebook as I go down and teach people how to pick up applications to run for political I'm running for county commissioner in my county. So I'm gonna show everybody how to do it next week. So everybody tune in when we do this.
Well, do your broadcast and do like a Q&A
We're-
for your community.
And we're gonna need some help in this venture, believe me. But nobody else is gonna step up to the plate, so I just gotta win the primary. The guy that's 80 some years old and been there forever, he's gone if we win the primary. So
It's a
looking
change
forward to
you
that. You guys have a good meeting.
Thank
See you
you
guys
very
later.
much. Appreciate
Bye bye.
Thanks.
One other thing, the Kent County Water and Cannabis Coalition. They're trying to assemble a demonstration at Rosa Parks Circle. And they were going to try to do it on February 18th, but I don't think they got permission from the Rosa Parks Circle people under the First Amendment rights. Some hang up there, but I guess it's going to happen, all right? But I will keep everybody, but I think it's a great idea because they can, they're going to bring in people from the Rockford area with the PFAS issues, for the clean water, and then a lot of the cannabis people. I think we can put a pretty good group together on a good day at Rosa Parks Circle. And then I think it would be great to inform people about what we're trying to do at the same thing. And that's the one thing I wanted to end with is the 25th for M Legalize. Please come down and support, because I think if we can all show up as a group, we can intermingle with the other groups that are in the area that show, maybe generate more support for the dispensaries in Grand Rapids. And that's all it boils down to, is if we win here, like I said, I think the rest of the communities will start to crumble one by one. But right now, every small county around Kent County is pulling their wagons around and taking up the same policies that Kent County. It's an evil product, it has no municipal purpose, and you're just a drug dealer. And I've witnessed it myself in court, so it's not me. Even when I present proper numbers for how much marijuana I use, they still look at me like I'm crazy, and there's no purpose for it. So until these people here get put in place, I mean, we're gonna live in that environment. I don't see any other. You, Bob? I'm afraid our leaders have taken the wrong course, and one good thing I'm going to mention to close with, because I should be doing this more often. I should be doing more Red Skelton stuff. Good night and God bless, you know. But at the end of the day, our leaders are the ones that are going to pay, because at the end of the day, when they make them decisions and where they got to go, someone's going to have some explaining to do, we'll see. Because these judges that have prosecuted all these kids and done what they've done and just put them in a system and ruined their lives and put black people and Mexicans in jail by the droves, so they can't get good jobs and they can't get any education, and dealing with the system for years and years and years to come over a little bit of marijuana is ridiculous. When we take heroin addicts, revive them, take them to the hospital, and send them back out on the streets. Here, go rob and bug for your next fix. So, with that being said, thank you for all showing up. Have a nice day. I can't hardly wait for spring. See you.